All right, welcome back to another episode of drawing. Don't know why I go into the Minecraft, what do you call it? No, today we're going to be drawing. Maybe I'll make a Minecraft video today, or today as in like at this particular time, which is Monday, or so it should be coming out on Tuesday if I do decide it, so it'll be in the future. Whatever, alright. Anyways, hello everybody, here we are with another drawing video. And, no, I did not, mess up in recording. We are starting this video right here after I was watching some videos. What videos were I watching, you are probably going to ask? Markiplier, as well as Distractable, which you should check out, even though I have no stake in it other than entertainment value. An entertainment entity that of which I want to keep alive. So yes, indeed, in fact. Anyways, we are drawing. This is a big announcement. I am redrawing all of the regions of the demon realm. The demons and all those regions that you've been seeing in multiple drawings. As of late, I am redrawing all of those regions. Not the demons. I'm obviously not going to do that because we haven't even finished the current list of demons. And for one thing, I don't want to go through that entire process. But no, we are going to be redrawing all of the regions. Starting with the first region we have ever drawn in landscape form, the Blood Peaks. So I do hope you will enjoy this video. If you like it, please indeed leave a like. And we have already gotten started. So let's go. I'm gonna delete that and put this up here. So yes, the demon realm is essentially this ginormous gangsterous realm that I have created to house all of these demons that I have made. And these demons aren't like, your usual typical demons that you see in some like religious text crap aspect or whatever. These demons are like a species almost. They're almost like a species, created to be living out in a world that's pretty harsh for both humans and demons alike. It's not like the demons are out there specifically killing humans. There are some that do, but there are others out there who are more animalistic and is going to go and eat other demons to survive. That is essentially the main purpose. I'm somewhat using a reference point to try to accurately representate. That's the word. Christ. Representate the original to an extent. And by the way, when I first drew this, I didn't use this particular tactic. I think what I did right here was this. And mix and match and shift and move them into the positions that they need to move in. Which was so inefficient. I'm glad I, experimented with the pen tool. Funny enough, there was so the reason why I started doing the pen tools at first, this is actually a pretty good story background-wise. So high school I went to, Old Bridge High School. I don't remember what year this was, but there was this teacher, I cannot remember his name. He was skinny, tall, and he can teach the, computer class thing? There's how do I explain? There was a staircase near his classroom. And there was an area outdoor. It's been a while, so I can't really remember the layouts of my freaking high school, which I didn't really like too much, high school. I mean, I didn't really have to deal with bullies too much, more so just people ignoring me or, stuff like that. There was one dumbass who clapped a bunch for some reason. And that's when I learned, just ignore those who piss you off. If you can, of course. There's some you can't ignore because you have to go to work and deal with them, but thankfully I haven't had to worry about that too much. And now ever since Nick the Dick, who probably is a bro outside of work, but in work, yeah, let me tell you, not fun. Mostly because he was trying to be so goddamn brown-nosy, not brown-nosy, Okay, there's a problem that he had with the maintenance guy. He was like, there's a static problem on the machine, but the maintenance guy said that you can't fix that stuff. And he's like, no, it's your job to fix it, he said, or something like that. And he was pissed. He doesn't work there anymore. Both of those two, by the way. Maintenance guy left because I think, he got sick of the place and found something else. Same with the supervisor guy, who was pretty ticked as well because of all the Saturdays and crap. And, like, supervisors there, they have to work on a salary, so if they come in Saturday, they're not getting paid extra. What do you want, Kat? What do you want? I'm trying to nudge you. Are you looking at the screen? You want to look at the screen over here, Kat? Are you? No, your head's not even on screen. Where's your head at? God damn it! It's like she knows the camera's watching her. All right. Anyways, we're getting off topic with the work crap. We are here to talk about the fact that teacher from that school, God's school, yes. I went to God's school. I guess that makes sense because I create a whole bunch of stuff in worlds. No, seriously, in this class, we learned something about pen tools. Now, obviously, this was far from what we learned, what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing is completely different from what they were taught, but I remembered back at that moment. And then I started experimenting with pen tool and drawing. And here we are today. Even though it's not the best tool when it comes to drawing, making stuff like ocean waves, you can't really do that. There is a way to do it with the usual, how I do leaves and grass and stuff, and clouds. Those particular ones you can't really use a pen tool for because obviously you need to have a texture / brush kind of thing there, But you get what I mean. Case in point, he taught me how to utilize a pen tool. So whatever his name is, I'm sure, on the off chance some of my classmates here are looking at me and witnessing my insanity and trying to come up with conversations as well as those weird stories. Anyone? You're probably surprised that I'm even like this, that I even have this personality. I mean, there's a thing when it comes to going around talking to other people, but for me, by myself, I have a completely different personality. I have a completely different personality in general. I'm more flamboyant on occasions. I mean, I've made some, Haruko voices to try to, replicate, or outside of Haruko, there's also some other feminine voices, especially that 100% in point, the animation I made of my creation, Jaden, not the other Jaden. I know I probably should have named her someone else, but, it's fine. It's fine. It's not like that did much of anything. I mean, don't get me wrong, that made me $26. It would have made more if that one person did decline their card. For, the fact that I thought you could, sell a video on Patreon for $15 each, but no, Patreon's a subscription service, which, now that I'm doing hardcore mature drawings, makes the most sense in my skill set. Cat, what are you doing? It's just looking at me now. Can you see her? Cadillac. No, oh, there she is. She's still there. And now she should... You really, Cat? Did you really just dodge behind a chair? Did you really? I think you still saw her, but still, she's not... She just... It's either she detects something with the cameras... There's just something off of those there cats. They know that something's recording them. You know if something's recording you? What are you looking at? She's getting jump scared by me trying to talk to her. She's probably intimidated by me talking to you, Cadillac. Yeah, I know, Cat. Cat's shy as all hell. But, yes, indeed, in fact, on camera you have a completely different personality than you do off camera. Although, that depends on, who I'm talking to, I guess. Cadillac. Anyways, back to the demon realm talk. So there are like more regions that I have in mind for the demon. Obviously, I can't do them yet. First, I gotta remake the regions and all of their what do you call it? Then I gotta finish up the demons on the list, which leads me to the next topic that I want to speak about. I said I was gonna go on ahead and remake all of the demon realm regions, which means the entirety of the landscape and scenery folder. It's all going to be demon realm regions. That's right. The entire reason why the Chrome Wars universe and the Elementals universe's, faction base and landscape and scenery drawings, respectively, for those two universes, are being put on hiatus. Obviously, we're still making weapons for Chrome Wars as well as people, drawing them in a better light because, let's be honest, when I first drew them, they did not look that good. They were terrible. I don't know what my brain was thinking. I mean, yes, that was a time where I was young and, that was kind of still inexcusable because the bloody hell drawing I'm looking at right now is album 6, and the drawing with those characters was album 15, 14, around that number? I think it was 14. Yeah, it was album 14. Although, I guess, technically landscape's completely different compared to actual people, the way, draw people and stuff. Although, that's not only too true, because the first drawing I did of Rain still looks pretty good, even to this day. So yeah, there was no excuse to make those 12. Maybe, actually, yes, there's my excuse. I drew too many people, and my brain was unable to comprehend it. Now that I have gotten used to being able to draw a bunch of people, I'm just slightly better at it, as apparent from the last drawing video arc with the creatures overview. Okay, so one thing I do want to address here is that the entirety of the Blood Peaks was dark. Like, a lot of reds, a lot of, pinkish reds, a lot of blacks, a lot of dark reds, stuff like that. I think I'm going to change up some things here. I will still have the bright red sky in, like, the center around here, almost. I think that's, like, the main, thing with that is the bright red sky is supposed to show where the ruler of the Blood Peaks resides, which is a giant snake. So all you scalies out there, I'm not going to draw that. But you can. I don't care if you do it. This is literally a demon snake man thing that you're drawing. If you want to, be my guest. I will not hold it against you. Will I judge you? No. Because I technically have drawn furries before in the past. Scalies? Technically with the reptilian girl. Not reptilian. You know the blue alien tall chick with the water and all that stuff? Reptile. That's what it was. Reptile. Or was that the demon name? No, the demons were called riptides. The Reptile. These scaly fish-like, are they fish? Would they be considered fish? No, they can go on land. They would probably be considered amphibians. Well, then again, snakes can also go on land and water, and there can still, some snakes, and they're still considered Can we talk about that for a second? What is the main difference between a reptile and an amphibian? We've seen reptiles go into the water. Crocodiles is a good example. They can go in and out of water. The same with amphibians. Stop scratching my arm. The same with amphibians. Frogs, for instance. Frogs can go in and out of water. So what is the difference between a reptile and an amphibian? They're both cold-blooded. Now, I'm sure I can just Google it, but I probably shouldn't waste my time Googling it. You guys can do it. You Google it. I'm giving you your homework. That's right, we're back in school, baby. Your homework is to Google why the hell reptiles and amphibians are different. What makes a reptile and what makes an amphibian amphibian? We're going to get down to the bottom of this. I'm sure you already know that because of school and all, but when you grow older, you do not retain that knowledge. Trust me, I know. All my knowledge points went over to my creations. As a god of my own worlds, I should be able to know almost all of my creations. I don't know all of them, right? I will admit I don't know all of the information about my creations. I think I've forgotten for a fact that Anne's mother died because of police fire after she, the mother, killed the father, i.e. her husband. And then that's something I forgot. I haven't forgotten now because I've actually drawn the drawing of it, but then again, I probably would still forget it. The reason why I'm doing it like this because we don't need to recreate these in multiple instances. This one is fine as is. But yes, most of my memory points went into my creations, a large majority of them. This is why it's not really easy for me to explain stuff. Would you stop messing with shit, cat? It is not easy for me to explain stuff. It's not easy at all. I don't know how anybody is able to explain stuff. That's why I would never become a teacher, because I would not be able to retain any knowledge of which I need to have to teach. Nor do I want to, be a rapper. Because the rappers just know how... The rappers are like wordsmiths. You know how Will Smith... Well, those rappers out there, they be wordsmithing. I don't know where I was going with that. Will Smith, rapper, you know, that kind of... That's where my mind went. Rapper slash actor. Slash boss in Neutron Adventure. If you guys didn't catch that, you obviously were not watching the Creatures Overview drawing. Which, by the way, if you want to know where those parts are, it's like towards the end half of the first part and the entirety of the second part. Funny how I was able to get like the entirety of the second part, enough time to be able to explain the rest of Neutron Adventure's story. But yes. We started talking about this because of my inability to retain knowledge. Yes, that's where this conversation went, right? Before I forget where the conversation went and we start a completely different subject. Now, I'm sure a lot of people here can understand that feeling. Trying to retain knowledge you remembered in high school is not easy. And most of my knowledge comes from stuff like, you know, what I have learned from a little bit of game development, both in Dreams and in Game Maker program. Which I wonder if I could probably make a video of me playing the Labyrinth game that I made. Even though it's not like the best build because I lost every like ability to get it back. I have the executable, but I don't have the like ability to go back into it. And even if I wanted to, I probably wouldn't really, you know, be too keen on doing that. Probably make a new version of it, like I do want to kind of do on Dreams. But at first, I got complete Space Blasters, which with all that I have and plan to do and all the stuff here, and all this stuff, makes me worry that I might not be able to get to it as much as I'd like, which is fine. I mean, this is also good. YouTube is good. It's a good start. If I can get to a point where I'm doing YouTube full-time, I don't have to, like, worry about time too much. I can get all that I need to get done with and then work on the Space Blasters then. I mean, it's not that difficult, really. I think the only difficult part would be to try to, like, figure out how to edit if I wanted to try that. But at the same time, I kind of want to keep the authenticity of being able to just put this on in the background and listen to my insane ramblings. I'm sure somebody out there is entertained by all this. Someone, somewhere, is entertained by my insane ramblings and stories. Which I do kind of have some story in mind, but I don't know if I want to say it now or if I want to say it when we get to the New Year's cat drawing, which is the next one after this one. But, yeah. So, okay, I think I got most of part of the background here done with. We got a decent amount here. It's going to be interesting to see how this is going to look. Like, in a more, like, visible and colorful aspect, because I'm definitely going to be making this a bit more colorful. It's still going to be mostly reds and hues of reds and stuff like that. But other than that, yeah, that's basically what it's going to be. Just a bunch of reds, but with a lot more brightness going on to it instead of a whole lot of darkness. I do remember, I can see in the background, there's a bunch of floating floating rocks. Are you? Okay, no, not here. Here, yes, of course. There are a bunch of floating rocks. The reason why I'm redrawing it from this point is, well, obviously, this is one of the major landmarks in the Blood Peak marks the complete middle of the blood peaks, where the shallows go even further and the blood peaks continue off. Oh god. Alright, I'm gonna... Oh god, I don't remember. Is this on? Ah, crap. I don't want to press F1 in case that destroys everything. Because there's an... Oh wait, I have an idea. Okay. Okay, Oh no! It did destroy everything, but it's fine. Everything is still fine. Nothing is destroyed. There we go. It's muted. I don't have to worry about having that on now because that doesn't affect the voice of me recording it, from what I've noticed. I'm pretty sure it doesn't anyways. I definitely did check, but now my brain is second-guessing itself, but it's fine. If it wasn't moving, this bar over here wouldn't be moving now, and wouldn't it? Hey, cat, what do you want? Alright, let's see. So we're going to have some, like, shorelines here, kind of. This is not peaks, but more like hills. And this is very far away. Oh god, what are you doing? So, here's the plan I have in mind for going into, the entirety of remaking these areas. When I made the originals, I had it set in a way where it explained some of the creatures, but that was it. Right? There's nothing too like exponential about it. It was just like paragraphs and then the creatures, and then that was it. There was nothing too special about it. There was nothing like, there were no bolding, no italics, none of that, or not really italics, but no bolding at the very least, no organizing, no chart or some form. It was just a paragraph. But that's going to change with this one. I don't think I'm going to complete this today. I think what I'm going to do is try to get as much as I can get done with in the outline process before 2. Then I'm going to make a Minecraft video. Continue that, build our dining room, which will probably already have been built by the time that this video gets out, and maybe even the basement, who knows? You'll see. You won't. You'll see if you, well, it depends. If you don't watch the Minecraft videos, you'll be like, oh, he builds dining room? And you'll be like, is either going to be like, oh, that sounds interesting, or dining room in Minecraft? Yeah, please. Probably will be a bunch of blocks, and you're going to see, like, these chairs, these tables, these freaking, like... well, I don't think we're going to get carpets at that point, but we'll see. We do have lava sheep nearby, I will say that, so we could probably just make it out of orange wool instead of red. Isn't that right, cat? It looks like a literal potato from this angle. Now you're just looking at me with squinted eyes as you're licking your chaps and washing your shelf. Chops, or whatever it's called, chaps. Cadillac. Alright, well, if I do get done with the outline process before 2, I'm probably gonna just color a little bit, It's a good thing to do, to try to get done with. Alright, open that up a bit, do a little bit of this. Just make sure that we are still in, yep. I gotta watch out now, still. I remove the end. I always remove the end recording button when making a drawing video now because I'm paranoid that something stupid will happen. Hell, I could probably remove the page up and page down hotkeys as well, since I usually just go over here to do it. But it's still going to want to get into the habit of using that. My hair is a mess. Don't mind my hair; it's just always frizzed, curly. I don't know why I have naturally curly hair. It's like, almost, it's really curly. Which is fine, but at the same time, it's annoying to try to get it, like, in a straight bang-like pattern like you see on most animes. Which, by the way, it is quite possible to get those particular types of look in anime. You just need to have the right hair for what the character is wearing. Or what the character's hair looks like. I don't really try for anything here, I just like this look. Considering the fact that, well, you can't really see it from here. I don't know why I'm, like, I'm like Mr. Hatred, except I don't have the tendencies that he had, and that was the reason why he had those in the first place. Don't exactly remember what drug he took, but I remember what I took, and I could have got a settlement thingy, I guess. Hey, don't step on the computer, you fool. This is why I don't need you to step on the computer. This is why I removed the N key for this one, because I can't trust you. But I kind of got used to these. I feel like I could probably pull off a certain look, if you know what I mean. If you look back at the, what was it called again? Personalities Personified Drawing. I'll give you a little scavenger hunt. Why not? Part of me is curious how I would look in that particular getup. And I do have the ability to do it. I would just need to figure out a way to make my gut smaller indefinitely, and not in a way which involves me, you know, going through any surgery, which I do not like. I don't like the concept, unless there is a way for me to be able to do it using atomic manipulation. Oh, we're bringing atomic manipulation back. Yay, woo, hey. But yeah, I probably will like. I'm fine with these, I just want to get rid of the stomach. At least try to make it flat, somehow. I think you can do so by running a bunch. I'm pretty sure. My legs and arms are rather, you know, in shape. It's just my stomach for some reason ain't. And I don't know why. I'm a weird shape, that's for certain, and I wish I could be something else. I wish I could get a flatter shape, but keep these bigger. Okay, maybe not. Maybe yes. Maybe a little bit bigger. Who knows? I'm not trying to go for, you know, guys. I'm still going for girls. No matter what, even if I were to dress up in that particular form and outfit, I would still be going for girls regardless. Sorry, boys, but I ain't into it. I've said before in a previous video, I believe, and I cannot really get into it if there is a guy in a drawing. That's why a large majority of my, you know, drawings with, you know, over here. Up on this direction, not past the computer. Oh, God. Alright, maybe I should move the sheet. I got this new chair that I have to try to protect by putting a sheet over it when I sleep and when I leave so the cat don't scratch it. I haven't noticed a scratch mark on it yet, but it will probably change soon. Who knows? Got a cat's tack in my hand as I try to move the sheet to give her more space to jump up here. Dang old cat over here just wants to try to ruin me. But yes, what was I talking about again? Ah, yes, the potential of becoming a goth. Indeed, indubitably. I will say it outright. I am actually quite curious. Cat. But yeah, we got a significant amount of. Let me see if this is still okay. Good. We got a significant amount of progress done with here. The outlining and the coloring process is, oh god, press the freaking Windows key. Those processes aren't the only thing with this one particular instance. No, we are also going to need to, indeed, in fact, go on ahead and draw a bunch of demons as well. Similar to how we have it set in the, you know, the drawings with the other demons. Only the difference is it's going to actually, you know, be perspective based and not like a flat kind of canvas, so to speak. We'll see how that works. But yeah, this is going nicely, better than I would have expected it to go. Got some mountains and peaks and stuff. The Blood Peaks is somewhat like mountain-esque, but the mountains don't go. Oh Jesus Christ, cat! The mountains don't go incredibly high. I guess I could probably make that be like pitch dark blackness with the peaks and. Oh yeah, that's actually a good idea. Make like the bottoms of the mountains like somewhat black-like and have like a bunch of red tops here to kind of like showcase a bunch of mountains here. But yeah, there are other actual new regions that I have in mind, and I believe I have on this notepad here. Okay, do not dare. Alright, that's actually a good point to talk about right there. So, one biome idea that I have in mind that borders the Lavender Desert and the Blood Peaks is a region called Dusty Mountains. another mountainous-esque kind of region, only it's completely different from what the Blood Peaks are. The Dusty Mountains are essentially supposed to be like a giant, like, string of mountains instead of, like, you know, peaks and, like, mountains with a bunch of, like, clearings inside and around, in and around them. That kind of stuff. And the main purpose of that entire region, well, a lot of the things that I think about from that region consist of spider-type demons. While we do have spider-type demons in the Blood Peaks, it's not as abundant as you would see in the Dusty Mountains. Another one is called Cinder Canyons. The Cinder Canyon is bordering Dark Beach and Lavender Desert. And what this is essentially, I believe it was like a white desert-esque kind of area with like a bunch of ash and stuff. And then there's like an important area at the bottom left somewhere around that point where it is essentially a giant volcano. Right? We don't have like a volcano in this particular area, so that's a good place to put a volcano. Consider it like a second, what was it called? A subregion? Yeah, a subregion. I forgot to put, oh yeah, because I didn't have a name for that area yet. But there's another one in the other four corners, but let's go to the obscure fields, which is a really strange region, alright? Okay, so the obscure field is like a plain, somewhat so to speak. Then there's a bunch of, like, colorful kind of, like, how do I explain this? The grass is kind of purple-esque. The sky around here takes many different shades of colors. The most notable is green, so it's a bit... Right there, right off the bat, it's Captain Sparkle's worst nightmare. Purple grass and a green sky, but don't worry, it's not all green. And there's these black, tar-like water pits surrounding multiple areas. And this area is weird because there's this one demon that's literally just the number 6. And what it does, when it reaches a certain point, a number 6 pops up in your eye's view. It's like, think of it like a HUD in a game. The 6 follows your eye wherever you go. You close your eye, you still see the number 6, and it stays there for a second before disappearing. And what you hear is this Mario-sounding voice that says, 6. In many different tones and pitches. Like, it's randomized how it sounds, but it still has the same Mario complex. And, the closer the demon gets to you, the more frequent the number 6 appears in your vision, the more 6 you hear, until it gets to a point where the demon is now very close to you. A 6 pops up in your vision like one every 0.1 second almost? Not 0.1 seconds. Like, it gets to 0.1 seconds. Until the 6s are like melding together, like how would I replicate this? Like 6, kind of like that, and then your vision turns into just number 6s. You're in complete, total pain, screaming for your life, and then you get a third-person view of a number 6, another number 6 popping up out of nowhere next to that 1 6 that assaulted you. And you've turned into the number 6. You're now a number 6. Although, technically speaking, I don't think that's the case, because the third person view is actually your soul. So your body just got turned into the number 6. You're dead. Your soul is now floating around the obscure fields in torment. And now there's a number 6 out there. Another number 6 out there. Waiting to turn somebody else into a number 6. That's like the surface level of the obscure peaks. Obscure fields. Not peaks. Working on Blood Peaks over here, and I got the peaks name in sight. But, yeah. That is the entirety of, well, not entirety, most of the Christ brain, trying to get into a comfortable position, and now I'm trying to talk and I'm blinking at the same time. But that is one example of how weird the obscure fields get. There's also a swamp region bordering the dark beach and the drought plains alongside, well, no, bordering the drought plains and the crimson jungles, not the dark beach. And then there's a blue forest kind of like region. I haven't put a name down for it yet. But yeah. Blue forest, blue tint, stuff like that. It looks cool in my head. So we'll see how it looks. Oh, Christ. We'll see how it looks when we draw it. But, yes. I do plan on adding more. I also plan on adding some form of river surrounding the entirety of all of the regions on the surface level, at least. A river, that of which covers only the void. It borders the void. We can call it the boundary river or something for now. The edge void, the void edge river or something. Whatever it is, it's a river and it's edging the void. Is there any more I want to put here? I guess I could put some more splotches and stuff here. Look at this, I made a lot of bones and skulls in the water here. Which I guess makes sense to an extent, but how the hell am I going to do that here? I do want to put these like little flesh patches here. And yes, a large majority of the blood peaks consists of a fleshy material. A hard fleshy material. And no, it's not dick skin, not like Dick Planet from Neutron Adventure. No, it's actual, like, skin. Like, all of your skin. The flesh, all of your flesh, arm muscles, maybe there are some dick muscles included into it, but all flesh. Every single flesh. Maybe there's some brain spots as well. It kind of makes sense because the blood peaks is supposed to be like a gory kind of area. With a whole lot, and I mean a whole lot of blood, a whole lot of flesh, a whole lot of bones, and a whole lot of visceral. Matter of fact, is there freaking intestines anywhere in here? It's so dark in the background that I can barely see. I'm seeing these, like, actual red-looking pieces of meat in the river here. I can only assume that that's, you know, part of the bloodied up version of this. I don't know. But yeah, this place is pretty terrifying. You got these giant, you know, walking piles of blood creatures in the shallows, looking to kill you, alongside the stomach worms that will go inside of your belly in a certain direction, if you know what I mean. No, not the vag. No, not the mouth. No, not the ash. And no, thankfully, not the dick. But there is another hole. That's right, we do have another hole. One that is often forgotten when it comes to certain fetish art. One that of which I try to incorporate as much as I can in certain art. One that is apparently the second least voted art that people seem to come for on DeviantArt for my channel, in this particular area. That's why I'm going to make another change going into next year, but I won't say that yet. Not until the New Year's cat drawing. Which, by the way, should not take that long to make. And I'm debating whether or not I should separate it into two parts. The drawing portion and the memory lane portion. Or is the altogether portion. I don't know. You get what I mean. Okay, I need to start putting some more bones in the background. I'm getting a lot of mountains, but I'm not getting a lot of bones. I don't want to try to get a bunch of this stuff. Maybe more of this. Maybe like more spikes like I have up here. Okay, maybe we can put another one like up here almost to an extent. Don't worry, this area will be given some more light. I will make this place look less dreary, at the very least for our benefits. But technically speaking, the region here is rather dark. Alright? It is rather dark. Even with the bulb balloons lighting up the place with their little... I've forgotten. I know bulb balloons were made to light up the place, but I forgot how they did it specifically. See what I mean? I have a lot of creations, and some of them I forget the functionality of. I don't quite recall the ball balloon's reasoning for it to be the main light source of this area, but it was a reason. It's the name that I've been putting on all of the points here whenever I'm like doing like stuff like ball balloon lights, ball balloon rays, and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I could do a quick check here on DeviantArt. I got 4 notifications. Oh, hey, this is actually perfect. Thank you, Iran Thor, for adding General Hamza and Creatures Overview to your favorite. Thank you, Dragon Ball Z Fan 456, for favoring a pretty good pun for Annalie, at least, tickling art offline. Oh, hey, thank you, BB Imagines, for the watch. Yes, nice, the follow. This is the closest we can get to actually doing the whole Twitch stream setup thing. All right, you can't see it because I'm on a different browser right now, but Bull Bloom. All right, Bull Bloom. Yep, the giant jellyfish-looking demons in space. That's what they were. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. They definitely do emit light. But yeah, that is the that's the main light source for the entirety of the demon realm. And it might not seem that reasonable, but you forget the light in this universe works differently. And it goes through solid objects. That's how you're able to get light in the, what's it called again? Fathomless Caverns, and Hellscape as well. Every time I got back into playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night again. Now, every time I think about the Fathomless Caverns, I get the... You know that song? I hope I was able to do it justice. I hope you were able to recognize it. But if you played the game, it'll come right back to you. And then the song will be in your head like a freaking earwig or whatever it's called. What's the saying again? Earworm? A songworm? A songwig? A wig that wears a song that wears a wig, not a wig that wears a song. All right, you get me. You get what I'm trying to get across. Now scram. Now stay for a little bit. We got some flavored water and Doritos, Twix, and a cat that doesn't seem to care. Although maybe don't bother with the cat because she's a chicken shit and will hide underneath the bed. She's asleep right now, so you can't look at me. I'm scratching now. Yep, she looked at me scratching. Man, don't you hate when you get an itch everywhere? It's kind of annoying, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of stuff here. Wasp-like demons over here. I know for a fact I'm gonna have to like look back and like try to remember how those were like made. Man, how did I do those circles before without the freaking tool? Pen tool. Man, to think that I was drawing freestyle before. And with no order, too. I'm glad I started using this, though. It's made so much easier to get precise shapes and sizes of what things I need, and I can use the transform tool to get the thing where I need to be if I like mess something up. Only issue is I'd have to recolor it if I colored it all in, reshade it and texture it as well, but that's the price you pay to being able to be able to redo certain things. That is why the pen tool is OP. I'm sure I'd probably be able to learn how to utilize the tablet technique, but for now the pen tool works for the precise stuff. I guess I could probably do a mixture, you know. Kind of like, if I need to make something precise and I can't do it with the tablet, I go to the pen tool. And if I need to do something with, I guess shading would also like be a good example for like using a tablet. Shading, texturing doesn't exactly matter too much. I just don't know how I'd be able to get into the swing of using a tablet, because I'd have to like, I'd need to have like some laser pointer kind of on the tablet pen to like as I, doesn't matter how far away I have it, it just, does its thing and shows me where the cursor is. I can't have it be like slightly above the tablet, and then it shows the cursor. Otherwise, I'd make so many mistakes. Although that's why we have the ability to essentially reset those mistakes with the Control-Z. Which only really goes like one or two ways here, but with the history brush over here, we can make some changes. Gonna put some spiky ribs up here, because why not? I might be adding more to this, I'm not sure just yet, outline-wise, but as it stands right now, we got a pretty good setup here. Let me see something for a second. Yeah, I could probably have one of those wandering guys, like, somewhere around here, probably like going in this direction underneath here. Definitely got some demons we could put here. What we're seeing right now is the very far position of this. I could probably do something like this, where it's, it gets a little bit bigger the further out it goes. I don't know if that's doing it as much justice as I'd like. But it's about as good as we can get, in all honesty. Yeah, it's about as good as we can get there. This is actually pretty far away right now. I mean, you can tell because of the way that's set up. We just got tall as hell peaks up here and a lot of like climbing stuff that you can do. But it's mostly just you're going to be exploring through most of the, areas. Yeah, these are supposed to be like blood pools or something. Kind of leading into this, almost. I mean, I have to imagine there would be some like blood rain, right? Maybe I could add that at some point. Yeah, I could probably even draw some people out here this far out. And we'll see what happens. Okay, so, here's the thing. Going into the secondary universe and into the demon realm swatch, I do believe I might have... Yep, Blood Peaks. Here it is. And there it is, Blood Peak swatch. Yeah. Alright, so... how am I gonna do this? I could probably just rename this to Blood Shallows. And this to Flesh Ground number 1. And first things first, the blood, speaking of that, will be Blood Shallows. Yes. Okay, maybe we can make some adjustments for here. We are remaking these after all, so I might as well. We're starting anew. Why not? After all, this is going to be a new demon realm. It's going to be the same demon realm as it ever was, but, stick with me here, folks. I am trying to improvise. So I guess what I'll do first is create the bones in here. So this is going to be interesting. In the original, I made all the bones be red, but I don't know if that was because of, well, I don't think I had effects at this time. I'm trying to harp back. Did I do effects during this particular moment? I don't recall. Alright, I'm going to make these bones this shade of color, okay, around this shade. Maybe not this exactly. Somewhat reddish. Or actually, wait, better idea. This bone, number 1, and I'll just adjust this accordingly. About like right here. I'll grab you, and I shall do a little something like this. Yeah, that looks good. The bones are a bit more, how you say, natural looking color up top, but the further down they go into the more bloody landscapes and the bloody ocean, they look a little bit more redder. Okay, that's 2. I meant to press 20, as in replace the 1, not the entire number. But yes, bone number 2. And that's what we shall do for all the bones. Control D, you fool. I don't know what you just did. we're still fine. At the very least, it looks like we're still fine. So yeah, the bones up here can be this. We are technically revamping these regions, adding more things that we, didn't add before. We're going to have, like, new plants in certain regions to kind of, like, differentiate everything up there. We're going to have a lot of new stuff, new decorations, stuff like that. Blood Peaks is generally the same as it ever was. The only difference is I'm putting more bones and stuff all over the place, as well as, it's the same as it ever was. It's just a little bit more added on to it instead of just like what we had. I mean, not to say this isn't a lot. What I'm looking at here, it still looks pretty good. Cool. Still looks pretty cool, even for the time that I drew it. But, yes. I wish this floor wasn't... I need carpeting at some point. We had carpeting once down here, but there was a flood, and now there's no carpeting. I hate floods. Freaking computer over here needs another dusting. Just cleaned this not too long ago, too. So much freaking dust and hair and fur flying all around. I'm fine, I'm looking at you, cat. Don't you close your eyes and try to sleep and ignore me. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, it's all good. It's fine. I can't wait to get to the point where I can tell you that story. I don't know if any of y'all can handle that story. If you couldn't handle Neutron Adventure, you certainly won't be able to handle this particular game. But we won't talk about it yet. So, I'll call this a flesh ground. Why? Because why not? I will have this here. I will have the blood shallows there in that particular swatch. You can't see what I'm doing like per usual, but it's fine. So, yeah. We got a decent amount of time left over here. It's almost an hour in, and we got like 30 minutes left. I might try to get as much coloring as I can get done with, and maybe do shading and texturing, and then branch off into the second part where I outline the creatures, see if I can finish them all. The creatures are the main thing that I'm mostly worried about. They're the ones that are probably going to take a while. Wait. Before I continue, and also I named that the same as this. I did not mean to do that. I should do this. I should try to make more gradients like this in general. It's just that making them can be a pain sometimes. Right, so you're all combined. I don't know why I didn't combine the other one, but it's fine. Yeah, you're supposed to be like up close. You're supposed to be further away. You're supposed to be about right here in this instance, somewhat, so to speak. And then you're supposed to be very far out. It's like, best way I can explain where we're at. Here's the skull, here's this bone, here's this flesh swatch, here's the bone that we're looking at, and here is us, right here. That's how far away we are from this particular structure. Like I said before, I don't know if I'm doing the perspective justice, but I'm trying my best here, damn it. Trying to make perspectives of landscape and making it look far is difficult. I did decent with the creatures overview because of the fog, so maybe we need fog for this. Which is going to be a little bit difficult due to the fact that the blood shallows over here are going to kind of be, down under. Going to be under all the layers, including the mountain layers. Chances are I could just erase some of the fog. I've gotten into the habit of erasing the fog. I usually have never done that, but I have now started doing that because of moments like that. I call that flesh fresh, apparently. Let me rename that back. I called all these fresh. This ain't fresh. This flesh has got to be like centuries old. Fresh flesh. I know. It's absurd. Nothing here is fresh. It's all ancient. This place is as old as time, apparently. And the fact that we remain untouched from this universe, I did it again. I call it fresh and not flesh. God damn it. The L isn't even... The L and the R aren't even combined. There is no excuse there other than the fact that my brain is malfunctioning. God dang it. Frick. God. Yeah. Frickin' thought you'd cared. There's this weird meme in my head that nobody knows about other than me. With that most hated creature that I've ever created. Oh, man. Alright, that covers up most of that. I will make the egg sacs later. And when I draw the other stuff. But I will make the egg sacs, don't you worry. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Right, of course. These are like wasp-like creatures that have these strange-looking cobwebs all over the place. Strange, isn't it? Cobwebs all over the place from a wasp. Although I'm sure there's some wasp-type insect out there that shares the same web-slaying properties as a spider. I'm sure there's one. I don't really feel like trying to look for one. I'm just going to find a bunch of stuff with spiders, or Google's trying to give me information of things out of which I do not need. Or things that are unrelated to my search. Now, I was trying to figure out how fast blood falls, and it just kept giving me information about circulation. That is not what I'm looking for, Google. I'm trying to see how fast it takes for a blood fall to fall. Is that so much to ask for? Alright, good. This is not all over the place. I'm trying to figure out if it creates a splash or if it like oozes down and just kind of like, and if it's sticking to the same waterfall pattern, it'll just keep on like doing this goop down. I don't know how to explain it. Alright, it's time to make the mountain now. Don't know why I got the Coliseum music in my head for this, but it does kind of fit, oddly enough. This seems like a good... No, that is a little bit redder. How about here? Alright, Flesh Mountains. As opposed to the ground, the flesh mountains are going to be brighter and the ground is going to be darker. Except for the far mountains in the distance that are going to be affected by the fog. Yes. I don't think I've done any videos on anything Mugbrain horror-esque. Despite the fact that this one is a landscape and scenery drawing. The entire presence. God damn it, enough with these freaking fuzzes and dust and hair all over the place. No, wait, I gotta make this higher a bit. Despite the fact that this has a bunch of blood and a bunch of creatures and it's all scary looking, the fact that it focuses on landscape and scenery drawing is the reason why it's landscape and scenery and not Mugbrain horror. That is essentially how I did the entirety of, this. Oh, wait a minute. You're supposed to be above this. Oh, wait, I remember now. That's right. Okay, I remember. And this is what happens when you work too long on, like, the outlining process. You start to forget what outlines went to where. That's what it's supposed to be. I didn't have to do all that. Although it does ensure that the pixels don't have any, like, empty space in between. That's what it was supposed to be. I remember now. Don't worry, folks. I almost made a bunch of adjustments for something that didn't need adjusting. I just needed to be smart about it. Which is not easy, let me tell you. But, yeah. I'm so tired. I didn't really get as much sleep as I wanted to. I had to upload schedule the Minecraft video to upload. I should try to do like a bulk recording session. It would make it easier for me to get all of the, no, not Mountain Mountains. Let's take him to the malt shop. Okay, good, great, fantastic. So, the skull. The skull was kind of bright. But I do kind of want the skull to be somewhat reddish. So what if I take this color and make it a little bit red, but brighter? So, yeah, the skull is embedded into the mountain. And it's cool looking. Which makes you wonder how all of this stuff here was made. Yes, I am the creator of the Demon Realm, of course. But how did this stuff get all created by my creations? That's the question. Well, that I can't really answer for you. Even though we are the creator of all of our creations, the god of all of our worlds, there are some aspects to our worlds that we don't necessarily take notice of, like the parts that we don't look at. All of our creations are our own creations, looking at the world of them and all of their lives, but we don't look at the background characters. We can either make them, but as we make one, a whole bunch more have to come into play. Because if a whole bunch more doesn't come into play, then the world will be rather empty and your creations will feel rather lonely. Is that not right? Is that not a fact? I feel like I should make these blood falls a little bit darker compared to the, what do you call it, but maybe less. We'll see. We'll see what this looks like. But, yeah. We don't create our creations and don't take it to... the fact that, there are more creations that are in our universe, that are in our own created universe. Okay, that's a bit too dull. Maybe about like right here. Maybe a little bit brighter. No, you know, I'll just stick with the regular old thing. That works just fine. I'm pretty sure y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that just because we make a world with 2 people doesn't mean it only has 2 people in it. It has a bunch of other people, and then you build upon it some more. And eventually it'll get to the point where you see more people, but there are still more people. There are 7 billion people, and a whole bunch of animals as well. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Nope, that's the cat's ear. I thought that was something else. Alright, so this part should be easy. Oh wait, which skull layer is this? Looks like it's G. Alright, perfect. Although I could probably just call it holes. Skull holes. That's fine. A little bit darker, a little bit right there. Yeah, that's fine. No, actually. Looks too magenta-like. There we go. Maybe? Okay, yeah, no, there we go. That works. God, I've almost ran out of water over here. The hour is almost up, though. Okay, I don't know what the hell I was doing with these. Because they did not look like this. Maybe they do look like that. You know. Although, now I think again. Wait a minute, right. I should probably make a little spot here for this. But it's not entirely transparent, right? I would say, okay, hold on. I would say 95. All right, hear me out. 95. It's not completely transparent, but I think it might be transparent enough to where it, like, what does that look like? Yeah, you can see slightly behind it, but not entirely. I wonder how that's going to look. Oh. I need a different flesh brown for this. A different shade of flesh ground. Yeah, that's right, folks. I've said it before. The entire area here is made out of flesh. I'll just call this ground instead of flesh because this is technically now the ground layer. Not the shade I want. How about this? Maybe. I do kind of want it to be a little bit darker, but I need it to, at the very least, be easy to distinguish. So it can't mix too much. A lot of it's got to have like a bunch of reds. That could work, I guess. Maybe kind of like stretched out skin almost. We got flesh ground number 1, which looks like actual flesh. Now we got flesh ground number 2, which looks more like skin that's about to like peel off and then show the flesh. You can walk on it all you want, but it's not really going to do much of anything. I don't know. I'm looking at this weird little foundation here. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to turn it into bones, you know. Why not? Let's turn it into bones. The bone zone. Yeah, right about here should be good. Bones. 4A, because we got already 3 up. Grab the godforsaken bone. Do this and this. But yeah, these spikes here, all of them are bones. They're gonna have like a red bottom point, and it's gonna look good. It might not look as good as the original just because of the nostalgia in my head, but to you guys, it'll probably look leagues better. Oh god, I gotta sneeze, but it's not coming out. Alright, it's passed. Awesome. Okay, accidentally filled in that. Did not want to do that. It's fine. Are we still on the layer? Good. And now we're in. Yeah, I got like 10 minutes left, but we can try to get this done with as much as we can. Alright, so this stuff does have to be above all of this though. So I'm just gonna add this to the ground. This is still ground 1A, right? Yeah. So this is the part of the ground. I don't know why well yeah, it does show some of it, so I guess it's fine. Bones 4C. 4C. Sorry, a little inside joke in my head at this job. If you know what I mean. It makes sense if you're there, but I'm not going to try to explain it. We're just going to continue making our land of flesh and bones. And blood. And skin. And potentially guts. We'll see where that leads us, at least. Alright, more ground. Part of me is wondering if I should, like, you know, put some 99 Lives music on in the background. Apparently that stuff is royalty free, but I don't exactly know 100% for a fact. Alright, I'm gonna call these like flesh rocks or something, I don't know. Big hard mounds of flesh. Yeah. This area is gonna be strange looking, that's for certain. Flesh rocks. Number 1, just in case I do decide to make another. Yeah, put this here, why not? Oh, grab the damn layer. Good. Now we'll put this up top. There's, quite a decent bit more left to do, however. Even after all of this has been said and done, which is rather unfortunate. But I think we should be able to get it done within the time limit that we have. Like, I don't think it's going to take that long. In all honesty, I feel like I should have all of Friday to be able to make it. I don't believe we have anything planned for Friday. We don't really throw New Year's Eve parties anymore, but there's a lot of stuff happening on in the back. What do you want, Cat? Were? What? I don't know what that means. You're going to have to elaborate some more. What does were mean? You're not going to elaborate? Alright, fine. Oh, wait. No, I can't use that one. I gotta go underneath the mountain for this part. The other parts could be fine up above the mountains, but this part, nah. That needs to be under the mountains. What are you thinking? That needs to be under the mountains right now. Like, right this instant. This we could have here as well, because why not? Yeah, I feel like this is a better color for the flesh. Kind of looks sandy almost to an extent in this area. And then maybe the further you go in, the more like red it looks. Maybe it gets up to this point. As a matter of fact, Dalak, why don't we do this with that instead? Actually, why don't we do this with that instead? Well, okay, I'm not going to do this because that's going to delete everything, so I'm just going to put this in here, and now we can delete you. Good. All right, perfect. It makes sense. The mountains there are probably going to be like a lot more red, so it's not going to look as, bright as it does now. I still want it to be somewhat bright, but not too bright. There's a limit to how bright these need to be. Okay, so we have two different grounds here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put the ground here right now. Which one is this? I believe this is 1C. I don't recall, but it's fine. Alright, give me flesh ground number 1. Okay, now we're going to put the bones here. I'm going to make this one bone 5, so it's easier for me to set up. Actually, this should be relatively easy to make. I don't think it's going to be too difficult. You'll be above this. You will be above or below all of this, regardless of what's going to happen. You will be below all of that. I need you to go above the bones here. That's why that's set up like that. I'll try my best to meld those two together, but no promises. No promises at all. Now we put those bones together, and awesome. But before we do anything else, it's time to go on ahead and do this. We're still connected to this? Good. And you know what? Even though these aren't connected, these were once connected before. Okay, no, I'm going to make them red anyways, because why not? It looks good. It doesn't matter if there's no reason, so long as it looks good. And let me tell you, it looks good. Now go over to bone 5. Do a little bit of this, like so, yes, more red. Now go over to bone B. B to bone. Do a little bit of this behind it, yes. This is a weird angle, but it makes sense, trust me. And now bone C. Yeah. Look at that redness. Alright. Perfect. We're not done boning yet. I got one more bone, and I will put you on the same layer as those. And now, more red bones. Yep. Got a lot of bones over here, bro. Lots of bones. Alright. Here comes the tricky part. I think this is going to keep the same setup, because it is still technically a part of the hill layer, almost. But this is where it's going to change, which we will do soon enough. Now, there's still so much more to do, and we are running low on time for this particular episode part. I think what I will do is I'll come back with all of this finished, because I do want to have somewhat of a reprieve in between recordings here to be able to watch some videos and stuff, you know what I mean? You'll have the flesh there get a little bit more darker in that area, and then a little bit more darker, but not too dark. Awesome. Flesh ground number 3, even though that's not a ground. It's fine. We are definitely indeed, in fact, nearing the end of this part. Like 4 minutes in. Debating if I should keep going now. I should keep going. Actually, you know what? Screw it. We're going to keep going. We can do the Minecraft video whenever. We have until Friday to get the drawings done with, because New Year's Cat has to be done with before the year ends. It's supposed to be showing you all of what's happening. I'm going to at the very least get the coloring process done with. I'll shade and texture it on my own time. Probably tomorrow, depending on how much time I have left. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I definitely do want to try to, get this done with before the entirety of the year ends. to keep with things at a good, healthy rate. Alright, let's see. Yeah, looking at this, a lot of this is kind of dark. I gotta be careful with how dark I make this, though, because the sky is black with some dark reds in it. Some dark reds, not a lot. So I gotta figure out, like, the perfect balance. I think I should add some magenta to it, you know? But I keep looking at it, and I think it's too much. But you know what? Actually, that's fine. I think that's fine. Flesh Mountain. That's number 2. Did I have Flesh Mountain number 1 over here? I did. Okay, I'll move this with number 1. Number 1, here's number 2! I believe I already told you the story of how number 2 exploded while sitting in his plane immediately. As morbid as that story was, it's still hilarious. Just the entire fact of what was happening in that entire scene. But I'm not going to say it again. All has been said and done. So, how was your day, folks? Doing good? Are you rightfully disgusted by the bones and guts and flesh in this here area? If the answer is yes, then good. You passed. If the answer is no, then, well, that's fine too. I do believe I've explained this. Whoops, I stroked the path. I didn't fill it in. I do believe I've explained this before in a drawing at some point. I'll explain it again after I take a quick drink and yawn. We'll yawn first. So, y'all remember how you get brought into the demon realm. You get brought in through a strange portal. And the portal can bring you through multiple areas. One major area that you can get brought into is the Blood Peaks, or most common area you can get brought into. If you're being thrusted through a portal and you don't know, where you're gonna land, you think, oh, I'm going to the demon realms. Man, I can't wait to see those dark succubus so I can live out my fantasies of giant Amazonian woman taking advantage of me. Well, you best quell that there thirst right now, son, because if you're being pulled through the portal to the dark beach, a dark succubus will be dragging you in. If you're being put through the portal and you're falling in the sky, son, you're going to the Blood Peaks. Sad to say this, but you're going to the Blood Peaks. And it's going to take you ages to get to the Dark Peaks, depending on where you land in the Blood Peaks, if you want to get to the Dark Succubus. Not only do you have to pass the entirety of the Blood Peaks, but you also have, like, 2 choices to pick from here. You can either go west and risk your life going through the Lavender Desert. Or, that's the wrong side. Or you can go over into the Drought Plains. The choice is yours. I don't know what's the easy way or the hard way. They're both probably hard. And, even taking the current demons on the list into effect, I haven't drawn all the demons yet. We haven't made all of them yet. So as far as we're concerned, the demons that we have seen are probably only a fraction of that region. So, don't get too excited and plan ahead with the current demons that we have. Because the current demons that we have aren't necessarily, the only demons in this area. So, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you are going to get excited about going to the demon realm and trying out your plan. You're probably going to fail, even if you could try it out with the demons that we have currently. But don't get too excited, because you might just find that there'll be something there that you weren't expecting, and then you're going to die like an idiot. You don't want to be here. As soon as you come to this place, you want to get the hell out as soon as possible. But, unfortunately, the only way out for us mortals is by traveling to the Dark Beats. So regardless, we still have to kind of like figure out how to get there. It's just don't try to plan for the demons that we have currently. Always expect for there to be a new demon. It's like coming across this new enemy in a game you're playing. Oh wait, right, I forgot that I decided to put that ramp there when I made that, so I can move these a bit now. Let me see where this stands. Yeah, these do kind of stand out here too, so I'll put it here. It's like okay, I'm gonna continue my thought process before I forget. It's like continuing it's like coming across a certain enemy in a game that you've never come across before. And you think, oh, this should be easy. I've dealt with all these enemies before. It should be easy enough. And then this enemy hits you with like this combo that just destroys your life immediately. You don't even get a chance to like think. Why do I be doing that? You don't even get a chance to think. You're just dead. That's essentially what this entire area consists of for the most part. Did I make this? Yeah, this for some reason had all of its stuff kind of like upwards. That's the wrong one. I have to do this. But yeah, the demon realm is definitely not something we will be able to survive if for some reason we get brought into it. I'm going to say it right now. Of course, me, as the creator, question if I have some form of leeway over most of the intelligent demons. Are some of them going to realize? Probably not. But at the very least, it's worth a shot. You know. And don't forget, the demon realm is huge. It's not a small place. It's like the size of a planet stretched out in a realm. Infinitely going up into space, infinitely going down into the caverns. No matter what, the entirety of the demon realm is a large trek. Getting to anywhere in that place on foot would probably take you, what, days? You would starve before you make any progress. With the lack of like a day and night cycle, there's no way to tell when you're like, when you want to sleep. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we'd be able to get to a dark beach and survive. The only way we'd probably get to the dark beach is if we landed into the desert. Well, okay, that would. At least if we landed into the blood shallows, we have a good idea on where to go. If you're in anywhere that doesn't have an edge case, perfect example of that is if you're landing in a desert, you don't know where west, east, north, or south is. The compass here does not work because it does not have the same polarity that the compass utilizes. Think of it like the nether, kind of. I don't exactly know how that would work, in our particular instance, but yeah. Although, I like to think that the nether is sort of the area underneath bedrock, so maybe it's exactly maybe it's not exactly that. I meant to say not the other way around. Alright, this part's going to be a bit tricky, but I think we can manage. I will do this in the process, however. Oops, that's the wrong one. But yeah, a compass would not do you any good here. So if you land in the desert or in the middle of the drought plains or in the middle of any area, really, you get screwed. I'd say the only form of cardinal direction you have to work with would be within the blood peaks, because the red glow always points north. Fill it in first, then select it. But yes, the red glow always points north. So if you were to be in the middle of the Blood Peaks, you at the very least know where to go, to the shallows, to go to the southern areas. What are you looking at, cat? Poke. Poke your nose. Just stretches, not looking at me. But yeah, that's the only form of cardinal directions that you have in the demon realm. So don't expect your compass to help. I should really be sitting up straight. Even though I keep sliding every time I sit up straight, it's annoying. So, part of me wonders how I'm going to expand upon the Lavender Desert. The entirety of the Lavender Desert consists primarily of sand, rocks, and maybe some hills and some mountains and stuff here and there. So to be honest with you, I just don't know what I plan on doing with that particular thing. Wait a minute, are you guys? No, you are kind of connected, so this is the right thing to do. Did I color that in? Yes, I did. Good. It's on my nose, or in my nose, I should say. It's annoying. It's annoying when that happens. I hate it. I don't think I have anything there, do I? Can I see it? I can't see it, but now my nose is red for some reason. I wonder if I should try to do some color correction now that I have a better lighting source. Yeah, that's fine for now. Maybe I'll fix it in the next part. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I definitely do have better lighting, though. Although, like I said before, the lighting's above my head, not on my face, where it should be. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that finishes up most of that. Now I think the only thing left is most of the background over here. Some bones and stuff. Ah, the bones in my nose. Yep. Alright, we're going down here and we're going to make more mountains. Mountains 4A. Unless, yeah, you are 3A. But no, I should probably combine you or something. Give me a second. I'm going to see if I can deal with this issue right here. Yes, of course. I don't need to do any nose blowing because it's not congestion. It's just something just sticking out near the edges, which it should not be sticking out near the edges. I slide all over the place with this. And my pants. Too tight, but not tight enough. If you know what I mean. Freaking pants over here where they're goddamn sliding all over the place. They were filming a while ago. Am I losing weight? Doesn't feel like I am. Doesn't look like I am, at least. Alright, anyways, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Here we go. More mountains. I'm going to make this bone, however. I think this is bone 8. No, this is bone 9. We got so many bones. It's insane. These bones are insane. Yeah. Boom. So, silence. That's good content right there. Everybody likes silence. Trying to think of some stuff to talk about, but I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. I'm close to finishing this, so I can't talk about anything huge or massive or anything like that. Part of me kind of wants to talk about that particular story, and it does kind of make sense canonically speaking. But at the same time, it might be too much for your brains to handle. Or I should say, hearts to handle. Screw it. Let's talk about this particular story. Anybody know about Cousin Blackjack? That's right, the Cousin Blackjack. The one that beat the shit out of SpongeBob. For some reason, my brain created some weird stories involving him and SpongeBob. And trust me, it's not the kind of weird thing you are thinking about, but it is also kind of the weird thing that you're thinking about. It's a very dark and bleak story with a lot of abuse and a lot of, how you say, sponge, maybe? It's pretty, dark. So, how do we want to start this particular story? Do we want to start this story? Yes, we do. So, let's see. In an alternate universe kind of scenario, Blackjack is not shrunken to the size of a fucking pebble. He is still the same ginormous gangstuous freak that he was before, but now his body has undergone some metamorphosis. Not really. I don't know why I'm going through. It's the story here is that he's always been like this, and SpongeBob just avoided it. But now he had to come to this area, his house, and now he was locked in the basement. And I think in his underwear at this point. I think was it underwear? I'm trying to remember if he was naked or in his underwear. That's right. The story's getting to this dark level. You thought things were pretty dark before. You haven't seen nothing. We can get darker. For fuck's sakes, we're in the blood pinks. Blood, guts, and visceral as far as the eye can see. Alongside bones. Can't forget the bones. So we could talk about this level of story. The story isn't for the weak-hearted and anybody who's experienced these particular things. Click away now. Trust me, you do not want to stay here. It gets dark. That's assuming I can actually get to the story before I finish this entire thing, which we're close. So it starts off as a game. You are trying to find a way to escape the area, and if you cannot escape it, you got to hide. There's no good hiding spot. If you do not hide, if you don't do anything, here comes Cousin Blackjack. Big as fuck. Says something about little man. I don't remember the dialogue. This is what I mean about trying to come up with stories. The cat's on top of the... Damn it. I wish this chair wasn't in the way, because now the cat's not doing anything. Zoop. There she is, right there. Not moving away now, huh, cat? Well, I am moving down. Oh, God. You just did the worst. That's the jump. Alright, yes, if you fail to escape the basement room, you get a big full of it in the mouth. Not pleasant, that's for certain. And you don't see it. You don't see it happen. You just see his back, like Cousin Blackjack's back, and you kind of get the idea of what's happening. This is an abusive relationship, and you're trying to escape it. So let me tell you one escape scenario you can take. There's a certain area you can hide that allows you to kind of remove the boards from the back of a dresser, which leads you to a hole in between the walls. Where is the material that I want? This one. Or this one, actually. It should be darker since it's further back. Although, I don't know. It shouldn't be too dark, so maybe I should make it a bit more brighter red. So you go into here, and now you're in the crawl space. And now here comes Blackjack coming in, saying something about, oh, you're a hard little man, or something like that, and he goes through all the hiding spots. And once he goes through all of the hiding spots and he can't find you, he starts to tip everything over, starts yelling, and then starts to kind of just punch the walls. If you're in the wrong spot, the wrong place, he punches the walls and pulls you through, and that's game over. And if you go through the little crawl space to the right, you come across a bunch of spider webs and stuff, which is a safe spot for you to go into, but it's not good because there's a bunch of spiders, a whole bunch of spiders, a lot of spiders, so many spiders. Oh God, there's too many spiders. Get them off. Yeah. But yes, if you go to the spider area, the spider will jump on SpongeBob and he will be gone. It will be completely eaten by spiders. Nothing will be left, not even bones. Okay, this I think I need to have to be this. So, yes, you go into there, and then you go to the left. You gotta, like, sneak through and try to escape, like, the area. As soon as he starts to walk away, then you're allowed to be able to go up. The door is kind of left shut still. So you gotta go over the crawl space and make it to the exit. Oh, the cat. Hey, what are you doing? Why are you eating your food off the floor? Is that... That's what cat's literally taking her food off the floor and eating it out, or food out of her dish and eating it on the floor. Literally, the cat took a piece of food, stuck it in the dresser somehow, and sniffing. I was like, "Are you trying to eat that bug?" And I look closer, and what do I see? It's cat food. She literally somehow managed to take her dish, which is like right here, the dish right here, and here's the dresser, like right around here, and she got it up here on, like, I think the second drawer up top. There's 4 drawers. Here's the drawer that she got it on. Bottom, top. I don't know how she did it. I don't know what you're doing, cat. Why are you such a mess? Why are you a literal trash man? What are you looking at? You just looking at me now? You looking at me judging you? Reaching out. Reaching out. Reaching out. She's not even. Now she's getting into attack mode. Getting ready to attack my hand. No. Whoops, I forgot to call this Bones 11A. I think this is 11 anyways. So many bones. Oh, right. The story with Cousin Blackjack. You escape, yada, yada, yada. You manage to escape the house. And then you notice you've escaped, and now there's a chase sequence happening in the hallway, followed by a staircase kind of instance. And you go through the staircase, and Blackjack keeps getting angrier, and the angrier he gets, the bigger he gets, until it gets to a point where he completely is stuck in the stairway, the stair area. And is now just continuously growing. And you're trying to escape as the entirety of that area starts to break down. The house that you're in starts to break down. Oh, and you're like at least a bunch of meters away, like a 30 meters or so away from the house. And then you just see a giant Blackjack come out. And then there's a whole bunch of SpongeBobs come out. In comes the duplicate SpongeBob. That's right. That's how this story came to be. That's how SpongeBob became a duplicate, which makes sense. Don't ask me how. That's right. This is a duplicate story right here. And then I believe this is where it all started, too. So all the SpongeBobs come out. Here's SpongeBob, here's a giant Blackjack. And you're just trying to run away as Blackjack gets angry at all the SpongeBob that escape, and you just gotta try to hope he doesn't get to you and, destroy you with super absorbent sponge. God damn it. Why are we like this? I don't know. I got a perfect excuse. I just came back from a Markiplier video. There you go. Perfect. Anyways. I don't remember how that ended. I think it ended with Blackjack exploding. I'm pretty sure. You hiding, him exploding. I don't know. There is another instance with those two, but it has something to do with him sneaking into Blackjack's house. And he's on the couch. SpongeBob over here with the vase. And he's like, Blackjack is sleeping like this, and you make one wrong step and the floor creaks. He looks back, kind of like this. He sees you with his eyes squinting, he's doing that weird smile he does, and SpongeBob with the vase. You throw the vase at his head. He falls off the couch, immediately gets up, not even a second. You just hear a noise not like that, like a noise as he just starts to charge towards you. If you don't get out of there quickly enough, you're dead. If you do and you hide, you just have him barreling all over the house trying to find him. The cat almost ran into my arm. And now she's attacking my arm. Now she thinks I'm in attack mode. Now she thinks I'm playing with her. And then it just initiates a sequence where you try to hide. He destroys his house completely, trying to find you, and it's just a huge mess, The entirety of his house is just being demolished. He kind of just, and then you're just you picked the perfect spot to hide in, where he accidentally he threw the dresser down. You glitched the game and you didn't die, but now you're just hiding inside a dresser, stuck in it, and he's just destroying everything, knocking everything down, stuff like that, and his entire house just gets destroyed while you're just stuck in this spot. You glitched the game out. This is a game, by the way. If I didn't mention it before, this is actually a game. I don't know why you did that. I did not want you to do that. And now his house is just being... I didn't put this on its own layer, son of a bitch. Is this 1C? No, it would be 3C, I think. Did I make this 2C? No. No, it's 1D. Right, it's 1D, I believe. Yeah, this is the only other bloodfall here, except for this, which is 1 and 2. They're separated. But anyways, he destroys his entire house. And, yes... That's how he dies. I think your objective here is to try to kill him, but not indirectly because you can't kill, or not directly because you can't kill him directly. Christ. But after you've killed him, you gotta leave the house, so you aren't going to get a victory screen. You are, however, going to see him go berserk. Or hear him go, but well, if you're in third person, you'll definitely see him go berserk. He will go berserk, trying to find you, and you will hear him and occasionally see him as he, knocks stuff around, and he will inadvertently kill himself on his own anger. And that's how you complete that game. It involves a lot of hiding and stealth, and escaping the house without him noticing it. It's not a long game, and it doesn't have to be. Cadillac, what you want? What are you looking at? What are you giving me that look for? Got my arms out. She's gonna do anything. She just got down, laid down, and is ready to do the butt wiggle thing. But, yeah, we're almost done with this. Surprised, I don't understand the requirements for what turns certain things into duplicates. What made SpongeBob a likely candidate to become a duplicate? That I can't really say for a fact. I don't know. There could be many reasons. There has been an instance where he has duplicated himself by a budding. But what made Barney a perfect candidate for duplicates? Duke Nukem makes sense because of the mad scientist who cloned him. But there are some things that don't make too much sense at all. I won't say it all now. I'll save it for later conversational topics. If I say all my conversational topics now, I'm not going to have a lot of stories, or weird stories to make, or to talk about. I'm going to have to start making some new weird stories. Which is fine, but I want to try to hover back on the ones that I've already thought about, created, have at least a vocal archive of it somewhere on the web, if I can't get to actually drawing those scenes yet. Alright, let me see. Wait, I think this needs to be this, the flesh color. Yeah, the flesh ground. Indeed. Indubitably. Words. He scratches. But, yeah, that's the end of that story. We're almost done with this. The coloring process. We're almost done with the coloring process. I don't know how much longer I have left. I just know that I'm almost done with the coloring process. Still got a decent amount left to go. We'll see where we end up. Mountains 6A. So separating it just a little bit more. I mean, like I said, I am going to make the mountain tops be bright red. Or not bright red, but like at least red enough to look like it's, significant. Yeah, that's actually going to be flesh colored, or like light flesh colored, so that shouldn't be too difficult. Still keeping the ground as a 2. We're still in the same vein as 2. And, yes, indeed, in fact. I don't have a lot of time to talk about the story. We're almost done here. I'm hoping I can get this done with before 3 at least, so I have more than enough time for the Minecraft video. Minecraft. That's right, Cat. Minecraft. Your afterlife counterparts, I should say, conquering the worlds of Minecraft. Why are you messing with the computer, Cat? Alright, bone. There's more bones than this, but which one is this? I think it's bone 12. Yeah, I'll put this all in the same layer. Why not? Alright, part of me thinks I should make these a little bit darker to kind of like match the darkness of it. Well, whoops. Okay, now that we've done that, I'll do this. What are you looking at, Cat? This looks like she's trying to attack something, but I don't see nothing there. It's bright as hell. I don't see any insects. So what are you attacking? Okay, here we go. Floating rock. I don't know what she's looking at. Maybe she's a ghost. Why is a ghost on my bed? Who knows? If there is a ghost on my bed, unzips pants. The best way to deal with a ghost is to terrify them. You know, I don't know if anybody saw that, what do you call it? There's this meme on Twitter where there's like there's like a square on a woman's face and a square on some random like thing in the background. There's nothing there. And it said mood neutral. And then it showed the woman as horny. And then the thing is fear. Or aroused, and then fear. So, or I think it was a woman. I don't know if it was a guy or a girl. It's been a while. I don't remember. It's been too long since I've seen that. Okay, not too long. It's just not that long ago. It's not like the archives of yore. Yeah, the Blood Peaks literally looks like a Doom level, now that I think about it. Technically speaking, so does the Hellscape. The only thing that doesn't necessarily look like Doom levels is the, whoops! I guess the Fathomless Caverns? I don't quite recall. Yeah, the floating rocks will be the same color, all in all. I should put this more up ahead, shouldn't I? Floating rock. I think this might be the only one. Did I make this 1B or 2A? I made it 2A. Okay, so I guess you're going to be 3A then. Okay, alright. Good, great, fantastic. We are nowhere near done. But this is a new swatch for the Blood Peaks. I like it. I mean, I guess it makes sense to want to do this. Okay, so we got Flesh Rock, we got Skull, we got Bones. We got the Flesh Island, Flesh Mountains, Flesh Grounds, and Blood Shallows. All right, good, great, fantastic. Cadillac, what are you doing? Cat, Shade. Her name is Shade, by the way. I think I've already said that, but just in case I didn't. I don't think I have the swatch for this. No, I only have the Vermilion Snake for some reason. Wait, what? Did I draw him before? No. When did I draw you? Hold on. Did I draw you back here? Oh god, did I? I'm not gonna back out of that. I'm gonna just go to this. Did I draw the Vermilion Snake in this? I don't think I did. I know I drew the Lich and the Void Eater. I don't think I drew the Snake. I don't see anything Crimson-like, so when the hell did I save that swatch? Hold on. When did I draw the Vermilion Snake? Wait, hold on. I know. Oh, wait, I remember now. Okay, right. It was the thumbnail, the image for the folder going into the Demon Realm folders. Not the one with the map, the one with the Don't tell me the cat's messing with the cardboard. Are you trying to make it cold in here again? We finally covered up that broken window, and now the cat's trying to mess with the tape with the cardboard. I put that chair there for you so you can look out the window, cat. Don't make me move it. Oh, the cat just turned the chair right. Okay, she moved it for me. All right, good. As long as you understand why I'm upset. Oh God, I opened up WordPad. Okay, before we completely finish this, we are not going to do anything with that. I'm going to go back into landscape swatch, actually. And it is going to be pitch black darkness? No. I'm going to make the brightness here 10, and I'm going to make these 0. Okay, so it's 26. Sometimes I forget what it is. Whoops. Alright, I'll just move you back in, no biggie. Alright, sky. That's right, darkness. But at least now these actually meld together. This will stay somewhat brighter. Maybe I'll have it be more like a vivid-esque red color. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'll do this. What do you want, cat? What is your major malfunction? Why are you going berserk? Am I feeling a draft? Did you? Oh, hold on. I'm going to take a quick second to look and see if this can. Okay, no, she didn't move it. Thankfully, you don't really need to deal with that crap. But she is doing stuff with it, and I don't like it. I don't need you to destroy the thing making it warm in here. You know how it got less cold in here, cat? It's because we fixed that godforsaken broken window, and I don't even know how it got broken. Apparently, my dad said it was his fault. I don't know what he did exactly, but yes, that broke. Cat was probably scared shitless when that happened, and then it got cold as hell in here, and that's why I had a bunch of this on me. It's still kind of cold, but it's not as cold. Alright, so that's north, just about. Like, see how it's brighter here? It gets a lot more brighter further in you go? Yeah, that's north. I'll call this the North Glow. It's perfect if you somehow managed to end up in the Blood Peaks for some reason. Okay, this is part of the environment, so I should probably try to make the color swatch for... I don't even remember what this demon was called. I don't have the swatch for it. Wait, I'm going to use the Alt Cut technique to get rid of all of this stuff. I'm going to drink the last bit of water because we're going to be ending this soon. Well, not the last bit. Maybe I'll have a little bit left over. Or a lemonade water, I should say. Lemonade flavored water. Alright, let's see. Yeah, without the effect, it's still going to look kind of plain. Without shading and texturing either, it's going to still look plain. But what we got still looks pretty good. We just gotta, like, actually start going in and doing stuff with everything. I do hope I made this look good. I did this justice. Because, I mean, it still looks good. I just don't want it to look like somewhat of a downgrade. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a downgrade. No matter what I do, it's still going to look better than this. I just don't think we're going to get the same thematic that we have here. I'll try to keep it red, but I won't go too much into that department. Alright, I gotta head back to the Blood Peaks and just remember what this one creature is called. It's been a while since I've worked on the Blood Peaks. So I barely remember what was made in it. Bloody hell. What the hell? I'm looking at some... Okay, I don't need to look at that, even though you can't see it. So wait, what are we looking for? What is it? Blood Float Island. Oh yeah, that's right. Blood Float Islands, Blood Shallows. That's where those floating islands are. Flying, one of them being the Washer. Blood Bat. Crimson Hornet. whose stings creates a giant ever-growing tumor that will explode once it gets too big. Was that what it was? We got the blood shallows, would have the, what are they called again? I don't even know why I'm looking at it like this. Let me go to the Demon Realm list instead. And we got the Bone Maggots, the Flesh Ripper, Barbarian Snake, and Bone Counts, since our ruler and special and ruler respectively. We got the Blood Mutt, whatever they're called, Blood Bat, Crimson Hornet, Flesh Centipede, Stomach Worm. Not the stomach worm you think. Like the one that goes inside of your stomach through, certain, what do you call it, Trench Spider, Wanderer, yeah, that's what we're called, Wanderers, and Watcher. Okay, I guess it's the Crimson Hornet then. Alright, perfect, great, fantastic. So I'm going to just save that as the Crimson Hornet swatch. For now, though, I'm going to make their nest, and we'll call it there for this part. Because I still have enough time to do a Minecraft video, because why not? We'll see what happens. This is a nest, not an egg. Although I guess it could probably work as both. I will try to draw a bunch of those creatures. Oh god. But, yeah. Indeed. In fact. Yeah, it's a bunch of red webs as well. I am trying to make it look somewhat the same as the one in the original drawing. Not too much so. We don't need to be exactly 100%. But if I am drawing this area again, it makes sense. I don't think we're going to have any other special areas like this again. Not without areas that are like, going to obviously be the same all throughout, like the Dark Beach. Although that's going to be at a different angle. It's probably going to be at a similar angle to what we have currently with this here, except the Dark Beach is going to be like here, and going here, kind of like this, with the Dark Succubus here with all the women. That's going to be mature drawing. I don't think you've noticed, but I have a mature folder in the landscape and scenery folder, and it only has one drawing in it. It's going to have another one of the same type, but I do have another idea in mind to fill that up. For some special plans that I have in place to, or I should call this web, not nest. What are you looking at, cat? Man, you look so different under this lighting. You look more majestic. There's something like that. Something along the lines of that. Before I do anything, I almost used the wrong thing. There we go. And it's perfect. It's perfect size, too, for everything, considering how small this is. And we can say, oh, wait, no, I need to bring you forth some more. How's this? How does this look? A little bit more inwards or on the line. That's not on the line. Okay, go in more. Yeah, I know, you are not on the line. I think I might have accidentally dragged that. Okay, I didn't accidentally drag that, but it's fine. Yeah, these are not on the line. They look like they were on the line, but it turns out they are not. Man, freaking, it really needs to be more accurate. I guess it technically doesn't matter because of the way this is set. What are you looking at, cat? What are you trying to hunt? Oh, wait a minute. Right. This has to be underneath the bones. There we go. Underneath the bones. And, perfect. I think that's everything. I think anyways. I don't know. Looking at everything here, I'm not seeing anything else to it. And if I do decide to add more stuff, it's gonna have to be, after everything's been shaded in. But, it still looks good. Still looks good. Looking at this here, I mean, don't get me wrong, that bloody hell drawing way back in Allen 12, that still looks good for the time it was made. But this still looks good. I don't know what I plan on doing with all of these body parts and bones. Maybe I'll put some here and there around the place. It might not work very well here because of how very far away that is. So we might just have some heads here, some bones, some arms scattered around the place, stuff like that. And, yes. Alright, perfect. And, so here ends the first part of this. Take a good look, folks. This is what we have so far. We got the outline and the coloring process done with. I'm going to do the shading and texturing on my own. And I'm going to add some more stuff in as well. Then we're going to go on ahead and draw the creatures, outline, shade, texture them, or color shade and texture them. And we'll see if we can end that off with the effects. And if we can't end it off and the video gets too big, then we'll just end it off with getting some of the creatures done. Or we could end it off with, no, the effects that take like 10, 20 minutes tops. So, thank you all for coming to this part. If you like this video, if you like this particular type of drawing, please leave a like right there in that there comment section. If you want to leave a comment in the comment section. Press that there like button, because it would help. It would help me know that people like this stuff. And if you want more like this, please subscribe. I have a playlist with all the other drawings that I've made. It got a lot of hours in them, a lot of stories being told, a lot of content. There might be some downtime, who knows. But thank you all for watching this part. I'll see you in the next part. And later.